Well, welcome to lesson 5, the final lesson in the didgeridoo. How did you go with those first 4 steps? Are you already making some rhythms and making a few animal sounds and putting it together and creating your own basic songs? To be honest, this last step, circular breathing, is possibly one of the least important steps of didgeridoo playing. Because with those 4 steps that we taught you before, you can already follow any basic didgeridoo song. The only difference with this step, you're going to be able to play those beats and rhythms faster. Anyway, everybody talks about circular breathing as being the be-all and end-all of didgeridoo playing, so let's have a look at it. How is it done? Well, where you are normally playing a beat like this, remember that beat back in lesson 2? You are stopping your vibration to take a quick breath in your nose. The difference with circular breathing is that your cheeks create a little cushion in between that break in sound. To do that same rhythm with circular breathing, it would look something like this. So obviously something is happening in between there. What is it? Your cheeks are pushing the air whilst your nose takes in the next breath. So how is that achieved? There's 3 basic steps to circular breathing. First of all, learning how to disperse the air out of the cheeks. The best way to do that is to fill your cheeks with air and use your fingers, if you have to push the air. The trick is to keep the pressure here in between the middle of the lips, otherwise it'll just go like that. But if you keep the pressure, you can do that with your fingers. Can you also do that without using your fingers? A good little bit of practice with that is to grab half a glass of water and a straw. It also works with vodka, but today we're going to do it with water. Squeezing the straw slightly so that you don't lose too much air in one go. Push the air from your cheeks and abracadabra, you're going to get some bubbles. Can you do that? Okay. The second part. Whilst the cheeks are squeezing out, the nose at the same time is taking a quick sniff of air in. You can do that. The question is, can you do it at the same time? To help you out, use your fingers again, and as you squeeze the air manually from your cheeks, concentrate on just taking a little sniff of air in your nose. Can you do that? If you can do it without your fingers, you're actually already taking a circular breath, or at least half of it. The second half comes from quickly dispelling one burst of air again back out of your lungs. Now it's good to do that with full cheeks. The reason why is because they're ready to take the next circular breath back again. When you put those 2 parts together, you'll get something like this. Can you do that? Okay. From there on, it's basically a matter of continuing that process and learning to get faster and faster at it. Before long, you can do it without your fingers. And before long, you can start to do it quite quickly. Bit of practice. That's where the glass of water and the straw comes into handy. Because what you can do here is a little exercise where you try to slowly keep the bubbles in the glass continuing. initially there'll be a small break. Did you see how the bubbles stopped there for a second? Again, if you want to increase the pressure, you can squeeze the straw just slightly until you get better at it. After a while, take the pressure off the straw and basically try to do it faster and faster until you see the bubbles in the glass continue. And here you are, circular breathing. Of course, there's a lot more pressure in a straw. So when you go back to your didgeridoo, you're going to notice that little break in air will develop again, just for a second or so. But continue doing the same thing and you'll find that the didgeridoo sound will start to become more continual. Circular breathing. If you want to start with the didgeridoo also with your fingers, you can do the same thing. And as you get better, take your fingers away. So there's a little bit of practice involved, but after a little bit of practice you can start to do the circular breathing quite successfully. Now, when do you use that circular breath? Well, that is why we taught you way back in lesson 2 how to follow a rhythm or a beat of a song. Because it's in that break of the beat that you're grabbing that quick circular breath. Do you remember that first beat that I taught you? If we do that same beat, but with the in between, listen to how it sounds similar, but faster. What about the second beat? Do you remember that one? This is with circular breathing. What about if we put that whole song together that we learned in step 4, but now with circular breathing? And there we go. So guys, it is a step-by-step process. Start at step 1. Don't worry if people discouragingly talk about circular breathing straight up. Leave that to the end. But with a bit of practice, you can be playing very well within about 2 to 3 months. Some people, if you're a little musical, can learn to play a lot more quickly than that. So practice, practice, practice. Most importantly, come and see us at Whitsunday Opals and Didgeridoos and get a good quality didgeridoo to learn on. Because that is a very important point in playing good quality didgeridoo. You need a good quality instrument. So have a look later on in our important notes for didgeridoo. We'll have another step there, and that will talk about things to consider when you're looking at buying didgeridoos. Thanks very much for coming along, and happy didgeridoo playing.